Good morning everyone, Nick the Gardener. Happy Good Friday and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be hopefully planting out potatoes, or at least getting ready for planting out potatoes. No dig style, a little bit different from how I did it last year with the ball planter. I'm hopefully going to be getting out my onions and some peas. So I'll just turn you around and show you what I plan to get out. So down here, the onions, Bedfordshire Champion and Ailsa Craig, and I was kind of thinking about putting them into toilet roll tubes like this and leaving them in here. I didn't want to disturb the other onions with the chance of being having the allium leaf miner around. So I thought what I'll do is I'll just put them into toilet roll tubes just to give them a bit of extra compost for the roots to grow in. Pop them in a little bit deeper, a little bit of compost on top. But my hand's been forced a little bit at the allotment. I've got to put them out. Well, I might as well put them out because my net's been damaged. So very, very gutted. The brand new net, what I put out about 2-3 weeks ago, has got some burn holes in it. Yeah, I'll show you that in a bit when I get to the allotment. So there's holes already in that net. Allium leaf miner might have already got in. So I might as well lift the net, put these in. Luckily, I've got a replacement net. So I'm going to hopefully cover them all with my new net. So that's the onions. The potatoes here, I have got, to try and get out the shadow. These are Estima, second early. In here is a bit of a mixture. There's some Rooster, Albert Bartlett Red Rooster, some Charlottes. These are Pink Fir Apple. And these are the SSPC from last year, the Performer. And they've got some good chits on, but look at the chits on these. They're awesome, they are. So yeah, we're going to go no dig style, hopefully. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do 1 or 2 beds yet. I might just try and cram them all in one bed, but that might be a bit tight. The peas. So this row here, not one pea came up, and that was from the Hurst Green Shaft bought seed. It wasn't old seed, but yeah, not one germinated in that, and I did actually put more seeds in these little cells here than I did with these ones, and I think I've almost got 100% germination on those. I've already planted out the Kent Blue in here, in these square fabric pots. These have got like little tabs on here which you can put canes through on each corner, so I'm going to make a little structure for them soon. They're not too tall. I was planning on doing all my peas in these containers, but seeing that the ones for the allotment didn't germinate, I'm going to put all these peas out at the allotment. I've just got to make sure I can protect them from the pigeons and what have you. So we'll see how I get done, or how much I get done today. But I might just prepare everything today and plant tomorrow because the weather's a bit rubbishy today. But if I can get all the compost laid out and everything, get that warmed up, if the sun's out a bit today, there's a massive rain cloud over there coming over soon. So it's going to be one of those days where I might not be able to film too much, but I'm just going to get all the compost sorted out. The sun's out at the moment, but it's been raining a bit and what have you. And before we get going today, I'd just like to thank all my subscribers for watching the videos, commenting, thumbs up, things like that. And yeah, thank all my new subscribers who are joining my channel to see how I'm going to grow vegetables this year. And yeah, it's all getting very excited. So I'm going to plant out my potatoes today, possibly onions and possibly the peas as well. We'll see how far I get. But the weather's not that great today. It's a bit changeable. But the weather's going to be nice tomorrow, so we'll see how we get on with the wind and what have you. Right, so this is the bed here. And yeah, I should hopefully get all those potatoes in here. I was going to use another little bed to put potatoes in, but I think I'm going to need the space for the brassicas, what I'm growing this year, to be honest. So what I intend to do with this is basically just fill it full of compost. Yeah, what I'm planning on doing is emptying it all out in here, raking through it, getting all the bigger bits out, and then either mounding it up into rows, maybe 7 or 8 rows in here, and then planting the potatoes straight through the mound of compost, you know, like a little volcano sort of thing, just at this level of the soil just here, not going any deeper than this. They're just going to be sat on top basically, but there's going to be, you know, just compost on top of them, and then eventually I'll be putting some grass clippings and stuff like that on top of them as well, just to cover the compost to protect it. Feed the worms, suppress the weeds, keep the moisture in, stuff like that. But this has had a lot of compost on it already. This is where I grew my corn, and in places like there's definitely, I'll just chop the corn off at the stems. Yeah, you can see one here where I've chopped it off and it's rotting away, another one here. So this ground hasn't been disturbed in well over a year. It's had biochar added to it, it's had loads and loads and loads of compost added to it already. Although the compost has been eaten away, and now you can just see the topsoil kind of on top. But yeah, so it's had a lot of fertility and everything. I'm going to put some blood, fish and bone down and some potato fertiliser before I put the compost down, so then the potatoes will be sat on top of that. And the reason why I'm doing it like this year is because I did do no-dig potatoes over here with a ball planter last year, but my soil wasn't good enough just to pull them out. The soil was too hard. And as you can see, I didn't get all the potatoes out because I've got several volunteers coming up here, which I may actually dig up and put on, because I think in here we had kestrel last year and I didn't save any kestrel, so it'd be nice to have a few kestrel. I think over here, in fact I think these might be comfrey leaves actually coming through here, so I'll best dig that out. That's a potato there. But that's comfrey, so I'll have to get that out because that's going to have a real deep tap root if I let it get established. So before I crack on, there's just a couple of dandelions here what I've got to come out. Another one just here actually, just having a little scout around. There's just a few little weeds popping through, which I'll probably just hoe them off. In fact, there might be a little bit of bindweed. Is that bindweed coming up here? Yeah, so a bit of bindweed already coming up this year. So that's going to be one problem for this bed. Weeds not so much, but bindweed definitely. But oh yeah, while I'm yabbiting on, I will just show you what's happened to my net. So I came up the other day and I noticed, I hope you can see through here, but there's some big burn holes in my brand new Enviromesh Aguilan net. There's several, another one on there. And basically, one of the other plot holders had a little fire, and it was only in one of those little bins with a little chimney on, but because the wind was blowing this way, the little ashes landed on my net and has burnt them. So I was so gutted, I was so angry at the time, because I'd literally just put them out to protect from the allium leaf miner, and now I've got holes in. But yeah, so what I've done, I'll remove the celery now, what was along there, and I plan on putting the rest of the onions in here, which I was going to do anyway, thinking about it. But then I thought, oh, well, maybe not, maybe I'll just leave these covered, because I don't want to risk these getting infected by them. But now, I might as well just bung them all in here, and luckily I've got another net, which is bigger than this one, and it should cover this whole area. So I'm a bit gutted. The lady has offered to pay for a new net for me, and I might take her up on that, but I have got an old net which I could probably cut squares out and, you know, perhaps super glue it around them, and because this is melted so it's not going to fray anymore, but if I could patch a little super glue. Oh, there's another hole there, look. Oh, gutted. Another one there. But the biggest one's this one here. But anyway, all kind of sorted out. I've got another net, so I'm going to have to do that this weekend. But the onions in here are looking fantastic, what Mike sent me. So thanks again, Mike, for them. Just looking through here, and there's a bit of a snaggy bit on here as well. But there's volunteer potatoes coming up in there as well. But anyway, right, so I'm just gonna sprinkle some potato fertiliser around. I'll just spread a little bit of bloodfish and bone out around, and a little bit choppy, but all pretty much went on there. So I'm not going to go too mad with this. Just want to give it, you know, a little bit of enrichment. So just going to give it, you know, like I say, not a massive amount, just enough just to give it a little bit of a boost. I mean, I'm going to give this a bit of a rake in just so that when I put the potatoes down, the roots will not come directly in contact with the bloodfish and bone in this, as it may burn them to start off with a little bit. But yeah, I reckon that'll do. Just like I say, nothing too scientific or anything about it, but yeah, just a bit of bloodfish and bone just to enrich it, and give them a bit of a good start. Give the food, biology in the soil something to munch on to turn it into plant available nutrients. There's going to be nutrients in the compost anyway, which is going to get leached down into the soil from the rain. So I'll just grab, me fork, not me fork, sorry, me rake, a big landscaping rake, and just give that a little tickle in. And also if there's any weeds popping through, that's just going to disturb them, so that, I mean, they're going to be smothered by the compost anyway. But well, apart from the bindweed, which is a nightmare. But hopefully I'll eradicate the bindweed in the next year or two by keep pulling it out every time I see it. But this is pretty much the prep I need to do. Then I'm not going to bother laying out the potatoes. I'm not going to bother laying them all out to pick them all back up again. And I'm just going to really try and get them all in there. And if I don't, then I've got plenty of pots to put the rest in. I could find some other gaps somewhere else possibly as well. Right, so that's all raked in nicely. I'm just going to go and start preparing the compost. Okay, I'm just going to stop there for a moment. Most of the materials, what were coming off the top of the compost pile, wasn't fully 100% broken down, so but the stuff underneath is looking quite good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rake out this stuff under here, what's not so broken down, not perfect, so that's going to be at the bottom. I mean, I'll put the other stuff which is a bit better on top, so I'm going to rake it out so it's level, getting you the big bits of twigs and stuff out. And yeah, still got a load of compost left, so I might just rather than start arsing around putting it into hills, this, that and the other, I might just cover it with a foot of compost and just put the potato straight into it. It's going to be difficult planting them in the middle. I'm going to have to get some boards to walk on, I think, so I don't compact the compost too much. Okay, I've got to get wriggle on because it looks like it's going to rain in a sec. So I've pretty much got all the compost on here, what I think I'm going to need for the potatoes. Just going to level it out a bit because it's a bit lumpy and gone a bit OTT again. But yeah, don't want the potatoes to go green, obviously. But any rubbish, plastic or anything coming across, taking that out. Take these few bigger twigs out. But kind of happy with that. Oh, so we just had a little shower. but it's cleared, and hopefully there's going to be a bit more sunshine coming. But I've got the first 2 rows in. I put 9 potatoes in each row. And I'm just about to do the 3rd row now. So I've got this big board so I don't compress the compost too much. And all I'm doing is getting my trowel and taking out any twigs if I come across them in the hole. And just going down until I reach the soil surface below the compost there. So I'm hoping these are going to do really well here with all this compost on. They should do. What I might have to do is perhaps top it up a bit after it's rained a few times, if it's compacted down quite a bit. But I will be popping grass clippings over the top when I get them eventually. And that'll just stop the potatoes from going green if there's any growing near the surface. Help keep the moisture in. Help suppress any weeds that want to grow. Feed the soil, feed the worms. There's plenty of worms in this compost. So yeah, I'm hoping when I'm harvesting these, I'm just going to lift the plant out, and that's going to be it really. I don't have to dig. I'll probably have to rake through the compost, so I haven't left any volunteers in here. But yeah, hopefully this is going to really improve the soil as well with all this compost. I mean, this bed has had lots of compost added to it. I had corn grown in there last year, and I applied compost 2 or 3 times. You know, twice before the corn was planted, and whilst it was growing. And then I put some on over winter as well. And because my soil's a sandy loam, yeah, not like clay where it holds on to the nutrients and stuff. Sandy loam, it all just washes through, and yeah, it just gobbles up compost. So I'm going to put the next 8 out, 9 sorry, there's one already here, so I can see where the rows are. But yeah, I'm just spacing about a foot, 30 centimetres, something like that. And most of the potatoes have got some really nice big chits on, like these ones here. Both got really good chits. This one's starting to form a few more. So if you want big potatoes, just leave 1 or 2 chits on. If you want lots of little ones, leave all the little chits on. So I'm just going to rub the other ones off, so there's only those ones at the top. That's only got 1 anyway. Six, 7, need 2 more for that row. 8, 9, yeah. So I'm going to do another row of Yestima after this row, and then I'm going to put a row of pink fir apple and a row of Performer in there. And my roosters, I'm not going to be able to fit them in there, so I will be popping them in pots, I think, containers, something like that in the future. But I'll finish off this and I'll bring... Okay, so we're all done. So there's 7 rows of potatoes, 5 rows of Estima, 1 row of pink fir apple, and one row of Performer. I'll just put a little stakes along this edge down here to show me where the rows are. But I've also decided to put a little green fence around as well, and that's just to stop the cats getting in there and pooping on it, the birds getting on there to flick all the compost around and stuff. And also when they start to grow, it'll give them a little bit of support, stop them from flopping out onto the pathway and stuff. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I think the compost is going to settle down quite a bit, so I might have to top it up again. Yeah, that's my no dig potatoes done for the time being, and they should do really well in there. I'm really pleased with it. I'm glad I managed to get them in without compacting all the compost down too much. And yeah, I'm gonna have to go home now and get the onions and the peas and start preparing that. I've just spoke to the plot holder who had the fire. She's just come up here and she's given me the money for the net and couldn't apologise enough. And she's a real kind lady, and I feel real bad really. But at least that situation's sorted out. But yeah, so I'm going to go home, get the other onions, and then start preparing this bed to plant out my multi-sown onions, the Bedfordshire Champions and me Elsa Craig. There it is, a white dot. Right, I'm back home now. We just had a mega storm come through, and the wind's really picked up. I don't think I'm going to be able to remove the net and get a bigger net down. Well, not over the peas, but over the onions, without damaging them all. I do want to get these peas under another net, but you can see they were blowing around here and they're in the greenhouse. So I'm going to decide not to do it today. But I'd just like to thank everyone for watching, everyone for commenting, and people who like and subscribe. Really helps the channel out. Almost at 800 subscribers now, and it would be awesome if I could get to subscribers sometime, you know, end of summer sometime. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I'd like to thank everyone again for watching, and please like and give a thumbs up if you want and what have you. And yeah, everyone take care, have a good bank holiday weekend. Goodbye.